Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us one more time. We are today with Melissa. We will be talking about life experience, thoughts and feelings. Hello Melissa.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm well, thank you.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
31.
31.
How was your childhood?
I had quite a difficult childhood. I didn't have a close relationship with my father, and my mum was in university doing nurse training. So a lot of my upbringing was with my grandparents, and then unfortunately my grandma passed away, which caused me a lot of upset and a lot of problems. I didn't go to school like I should have done. And yeah, I had quite a difficult childhood, didn't have a good start in life, not very much money, difficult times.
How was your adolescence?
My adolescence, again, it was very dysregulated, very up and down, lots of trauma. I had a bit of a mental health breakdown, and I did have to go and stay in a mental health unit for about a month, just to try and get myself back on track after the traumas that I'd had.
What did you learn from your childhood?
To be very resilient. You can only really rely on yourself in this world, and you can't trust many people to be there for you, especially the people that you think that are there for you. They're not always there. So for me it was, I have to rely on myself, and I'm only the one that is going to fight for me. So very independent.
Since you were very
Independent, and yeah, very young. I moved out when I was 15, so I had a flat on my own. I worked part-time in a hairdresser's, and my parents were away from me at that point. So it was difficult.
What did you learn from your adolescence stage?
So I had to learn how to grow up very quickly. I missed out a lot on my childhood, things that my friends were doing I wasn't doing, because I was worried about bills and keeping a roof over my head. How am I going to eat tomorrow? So I feel that I did miss out on quite a lot, but it taught me how to be a better person and how to get through those tough times.
Do you have children?
I do have children.
Could you explain about her health condition, please?
Yes, so I have a daughter who is 10, and her name is Eve. When she was born, she was diagnosed with a condition called closed cloacal anomaly, which means that her bladder and her bowel were joined together when she was born. She's also got one kidney, which is in the shape of a number 8 on its side, and it's fused together. She has problems with her spine, where she has bones that are fused together. She has a low-lying spinal cord. She has 2 uteruses, so we don't know if she'll be able to have children when she's older. She's at constant risk of things like infection, and she's had to have multiple surgeries and operations so far. She'll have to have a lot more in future for reconstruction and various other things like that.
Have your daughter received support?
My daughter has received support. She's currently having support from a group called Invictus at school, and she does have some support at the hospital as well. She sees a psychologist in the hospital, but that is just more for medical things, not everyday feelings and emotions. But it was a struggle to get that support for her. It's taken a real long time to get anybody for her to speak to.
Okay, and emotional, because that is from the medical, no? But I mean, emotion support for you, for your daughter.
I
Today.
haven't had any support with any of this. It's been very much focused to Eve and not the parents. So the parents, it's very much, you're in this situation, this is what's wrong, you need to support this, but there isn't really any support for you. Because the condition's so rare, nobody knows what to say or how to make anything feel better. There's no clarity or any plan of what we can do. It's very much trial and error. We have to try and see if this works. We just don't know. So the support for me is something that I would really appreciate and need, but there just isn't any groups or other parents that are going through the same thing. So Eve's support has been fantastic, but the support for the parents just isn't there.
And emotional support for her?
Emotionally, she has been very up and down. It's been very difficult for her. She feels that she is completely different to any of her friends and her peers, so she can't talk to them because she doesn't feel that they understand. Her teachers have been brilliant, and I think they are the main people that if she's feeling emotional or upset, frustrated, she does speak to them quite a lot. And I'm so grateful that she does speak to them, because speaking to anyone's a big thing, and opening up about yourself and such personal issues is really difficult for anyone, especially a child. So I'm really proud.
Sorry, do you have another child or just?
I have a stepdaughter who's 14 as well. She's a lot older, and she's been great with Eve, very understanding, tries to treat Eve just the same as any other child. And I think that's the important thing for me, is that just because she is different, she wants to be treated normally, the same as everybody else.
Yes, very sure. Yeah. How hard this is being for your daughter? It's every day, emotional, physically, and
every day she is nervous. She has a lot of anxiety just about simple things like what clothes she's going to wear. Will my stoma bag show through my clothes? Will my incontinence pad show through my clothes? Any change in routine she doesn't like. She just can't cope with it, and that'll make her really upset, really frustrated. Sometimes it comes out in anger, sometimes it comes out in tears, and it can take quite a long time to get her to calm down and to understand things. It's very difficult, and then after that she can be very happy and on top of the world, and it's one to the other.
And but it's has been much better
recently.
She's being older.
As she's got older, it's been a mix, because the older that she's got, the more she's understood. But at the same time, the younger she was, she asked a lot less questions, so it was easier to manage it every day. But now that she's older, I find it's getting more difficult, that she's asking more questions. It's difficult for me to explain because I don't have the answers to give to her. The doctors don't have the answers to give to her. So to try and explain something that you're unsure of yourself and reassure her is very, very difficult.
How hard is being for you?
For me, it's been extremely difficult. I don't have a lot of support for Eve. I essentially am on my own with Eve. She might go to my mum's house for a sleepover once a month, but apart from that, she's constantly with me. When I had Eve, my life completely changed. I had to stop working. I had a relationship breakdown. I had to move away from my hometown, travelling to Leeds constantly for operations, long periods of time in hospital, so staying for months at a time. You disconnect from everybody, you feel isolated, and just alone. It's a very lonely feeling. You don't know what to do. You just want to help, but you don't know how to help. You want to make your child feel better, but you don't know how to do that. You just want to make it all go away, and you can't. And it's very emotional. You don't have anybody to share that with. And that for me has been the hardest part. Nobody understanding how you feel.
Have you thinking giving up? And if it's yes, the answer. Sorry, can you say what's the thing that is your okay? No, I won't giving up. I will carry on.
Yes, I have been scared. I have been at the point where I thought, I can't do this. I can't do this on my own. I need help. Is this best for Eve? Would it be better if she was with somebody who knew more or was older than me, because I was quite young when I had Eve? And I have thought, am I the best for Eve? Could I do better for Eve? And I've given myself quite a difficult time about being her mum. But what's kept me going is Eve. If I don't do this, she's got nobody else. If I don't do this, she won't be strong like I'm strong. I need to be strong for her. So that's what's kept me going.
So what did you learn from this experience?
Even when times are hard, you will always get through it, and you'll always get through it together. So me and Eve, we're very close, and everything we do together. Anything that happens, we face it together. We know that there's a lot of uncertain times ahead, so we just try and take each day as it comes, try not to worry about what the future will hold, because nobody can tell you, you never know, and there's no point worrying about things that you can't change. There's nothing that I can change about it, so why worry? And just enjoy the time that you have got where nothing is happening, there's no hospital stays. Enjoy that time, that time's precious.
What if have teach you? What have you learned from Eve, or your daughter?
That I can do a lot of things that I never thought that I could. I now work in a school. I never thought I'd work with children. I am doing my higher level teaching assistant qualification, which I never thought I'd do. It's made me believe in myself a lot more. I used to doubt myself quite a lot, and since I've had Eve, I've realised that I can do these things, and I just need to not give up. Keep going, don't give up.
What do you do when are you having hard times?
If I'm having really hard times, I will try and make some time for myself. Meditation is something that I've just started recently that I find helps. Apart from that, lots of baths, bubble baths, lots of smelling oils, candles. If I can, try and have early night, because with Eve's condition, we're up a lot through the nights as well. It's sort of like having a baby still. You're still up every few hours. It's exhausting. So just rest, any rest that I can get on my own, it's valuable time for me.
Do you know something about your father?
I do know, I did have a relationship with my dad until I was 11. My father was a big drinker, and I used to go and stay with him on a weekend, and there were a lot of times where my grandma would pick me up from school, and then my grandma would get a phone call from my dad saying, can she stay there for the night so that I can go to the pub? A lot of the time that I was with my dad on the weekend, I just remember him being asleep or passed out on the settee and having to fend for myself, make my own meals, and just wanting to go back to my mum's house. And then when I was old enough to say, I don't want to go and see him anymore, that was when our relationship ended.
What did you learn from him?
He was a very selfish man, and he didn't think about other people and the consequences of what he was doing. So just to think of others, and it's not all about you. Sometimes there's people that are depending on you that you need to be there for.
That is the thing that you learn from
Yeah.
him. Okay.
Own up to your responsibilities, because he never did. So that's what I've
What
learned.
did you learn from your mom?
My mum, that family is everything. If you have no money, no house, no nothing, as long as you've got your family, you're rich.
Did you love both?
I did love both until I was old enough to understand what was happening, and that it was a choice that my dad was making to put alcohol before me. And then I've always loved my mum, I'll always love my mum. She's always been there for me. But my dad, the love, there isn't love, because he didn't love me enough to be able to stop what he was doing.
Have you forgive?
I don't know if I'd forgive. He's tried to make contact with me since then, when my granddad passed away, and that was 10 years ago now. He met Eve. That was when he found out that he had a granddaughter. She's his only granddaughter, and he saw her once. He hasn't changed. He didn't make any effort. So I think to forgive somebody, you have to be able to see that they're changing the ways and owning up to the wrongs that they've done. So no.
What love means for you?
Love means happiness. Love means safe place. Love means always somebody there to rely on, that you know you can trust.
What do you think a child needs?
Love, time, affection. Money isn't important. Materialistic things aren't important. They just want your time.
You are working with children
Yes,
too.
yes.
So you have a child and you are working with the children. What have you learned from them?
They are incredibly resilient. They are amazing. They are our future generation, and we need to invest into our children. The more time that we spend with them, the more we see how amazing they are, how incredible our future world will be with these new minds looking after us. And they're so creative and intelligent. They're just amazing, and we really need to put that time into them. And it's sad to say, but at the moment the government don't do enough for schools and support children in the ways that they really do need it, to make sure that they grow and flourish as they can.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Has been a pleasure to talk with you. I have this interview with you. Wish you with all my soul good luck, and you will be all right. I know
Thank
that. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you take whatever you need from this interview, this lovely interview, and see you in the next. And keep well, please, and don't give up, please. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.